All right. If anybody can see us. All right. Try to get my wife in here. All right. Let's see.
Nobody wants to see me.
Yeah, they do. Let's see what we got. Where's your phone?
My phone's in another room.
We gotta have it.
I can go get it.
I'll get it. Where is it?
I think it's on by where I usually sit.
All right, here you are. Get on YouTube and click on this and make sure we have a good volume. Huh? What do you mean no?
No, I looked at the wrong thing. What do you mean by no?
What do you mean no?
How am I supposed to do this?
Go to your, it'll say live streams, it should say. Camboy Shrimp.
Doug Canny.
Smells like a French whore house in here. What is it?
Incense.
Oh, it is a French whore house. Can you hear me? Let me see. Oh, that's pretty cool. Awesome. Throw me a like. All right, you can turn it off. We don't have any sponsors, but if you would like to sponsor us 5 Hour, I think you should change the advertisement, though. I think the advertisement should be tired of pooping when you want to. Try 5 Hour. Poop when we want you to. Okay. Here we go. We're at the hearing. And let me see what we got here. Yeah, that's some stuff they try to pull on all the civilians. It's not true. You have a constitutional right to record. Period. I don't want you to get in trouble, though. But yeah, take whatever pictures and whatever you can of him. Period. If they give you any shit about having a camera in there, you just tell them that you have a constitutional right to do it. Period. If you could take any notes or whatever, that would be great too. Thank you for doing all this. Period. Definitely be careful out there. Period. So we have a we have our connection there. Dandy Lioness. She lives there in Grand Junction. Can you like make that a little less bright, maybe? Sorry about the lighting in here. That's good. A little more. Trying to make this look a little more professional. Yeah, pull it out. There you go. All right, that's better. We're actually recording this on a radish. I'm just kidding. So the warden. Our friend, Dandy Lioness 78, she's actually on at the courthouse, and they just told her that she cannot film in the courthouse. That's not true. Any public accessible area can be videoed, and them telling her that she has to have written consent is absolutely wrong. As a matter of fact, hey, Google, am I allowed as a citizen to record a courtroom as long as I'm not disruptive?
Probably not without prior permission, as most federal and state courts prohibit citizen-initiated photography, broadcasting, or audio recording in the courtroom, even if you are not disruptive. Rules vary by jurisdiction, so always check the specific court's rules or ask.
Well, there's your answer.
Yeah, I might give her some bad information on that. So I just Googled it and it said, yeah, you got to have written permission, but that is not constitutional.
This is prior permission.
Period. Prior. This is what I live with every day. Okay. Every day since the day I've met her.
You don't want to be wrong.
It doesn't matter. I'm wrong all the time anyway.
But I mean, like.
I mean, it's like when I first met her, when we first met, it was like alligators like shoes. Oh, yeah? No, they don't. It turns out they like sandals.
Yeah.
So that was how it was when we first.
They prefer to be made into sandals. Actually, they prefer to be made into boots and purses.
Just knock it off. We're just showing off now.
I didn't have to Google that.
No.
It's all up here now.
So let's go into this thing about this Ragnar Kristl guy. This guy, first of all, Andrew Cross is a guy who owns the YouTube page Desert Drifter. And what he did is he went out into the desert and he would camp and he would look at petroglyphs, and he was super, super interesting guy. His cinematography was fantastic. He was a good dude, man. He was just a good guy. And at the time when I first started watching him, I was going through some same shit everybody goes through. You have times when things are tough. And his videos were really soothing. They really, really were psychologically helpful to me. And so I started watching the guy. He probably had 50 videos out, and they were all, 30 minutes long. They were good amount, And so I corresponded a little bit with him and told him that I'd seen some of the same petroglyphs, stacked rocks, all kinds of stuff I'd seen when I was touring out that way doing stand-up. And so, I didn't know the guy or anything, but I definitely kept up with what he was doing and kept up with, where he was going and stuff like that. He pretty much stuck to that Colorado, New Mexico, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota area, that one big area. And it was just amazing videos he did. So in January, at the end of January, he was coming back from a shoot and just called his wife, Evelyn, who's awesome too. And a van hit him doing over the speed limit while he was stationary sitting at the light. It was a horrible accident. My friend that I have there, Dandy Lioness, says that she drives by the intersection pretty often, and it's just traumatizing for her, which it would be for me too, because I don't know the guy. We didn't hang out. We weren't family or anything. But when you're down, or when you have some sort of issue and something soothes you, something is soothing to you, you tend to, whether you know it or not, you tend to gravitate toward it. You tend to use that thought. I have trouble sleeping. And I always think about camping in the snow and stuff like that. It puts me to sleep. Andrew had those kind of videos where you could watch them and they would make you feel better. So it would bother me too to drive by that. But anyway, she says that there's still marks on the road and you can still see where the accident was. It's almost a year ago now. And this guy, Ragnar Nicholas Kristl, he's an American guy. He was a military guy, got kicked out of the military. Some of this stuff I got on the internet, so please correct me. If you hear me say anything that different, please interject it. I will add it. But the guy hit him, put him in a coma right to start with. Horrible, horrible accident. Dandy told me the speed limit goes from 55 to 45 there. And clearly this guy probably was not, going by the speed limit. So he hit Andrew's car. They put him in the hospital. He was in a coma right away. Never regained consciousness. So in my estimation, in my interpretation of what happened, he was dead right there. I'm not saying that to be morbid. I'm saying mentally, he's dead. So he actually didn't pass away until March 4th. Sadly, they took him off the machine. They walked him. That really hurt me too. When they told me that they got him up and walked him around the ICU, he wasn't conscious, but they did it just because he was a traveler, and he was I thought that was really pretty cool. It'd be like if I was in a coma like that, and my wife put a Les Paul in my lap. Of course, I couldn't play it. I wouldn't know it. But it's the symbolism of it that was so moving to me. And so today is Ragnar Nicholas Kristl's plea hearing. I got it off the internet that he was already sentenced to 15 years. That might not be right. So I'm sitting here. Okay, I got some pictures of the courtroom and stuff. This is great. This is really good, and I will post these as I wonder if I can do that. Can I do that? Can I post shit? Share screen. I guess not. How can I? Is there any way that I can put? You know what? I think I can. I'll show you how I do.
Make it big on there and turn it around. And there's something.
Yeah, maybe I could do that.
And then you could share them later.
Yeah, I'll share them later. This is the courthouse. Danny Lioness sent this to me. That's the front of the courthouse. She also told me that here's the actual courtroom. She actually told me, awesome, thank you, exclamation point. I'm sharing them. Period. She also told me that in Grand Junction, you go from the jail directly to the court. It's like that in New Bern, North Carolina, where I'm from. They actually built the jailhouse beside the courthouse. I think that's for safety and for, being smart. Anyway, the rest of my story is this Ragnar guy, I did some checking on him. I actually spent $20 for a record search, for his driving record and all that kind of stuff. And I actually got his father's record too. His mother and father broke up when he was, as per my information. I could be wrong. If I am, please, like I said, give me the information and I'll update. His mother and father broke up, so he was his mother supposedly remarried. And I had somebody get in touch with me that said they were his stepfather, but turned out they weren't. I checked on that too. But he's had some issues with drinking, driving, drug use, all this stuff. He's had quite a bit of issues with this. And just in my research, it's pretty clear this guy shouldn't have been behind the wheel. I guess he had a driver's license. We'll find out today. But, from my experience and from what I've never had a DWI or DUI, I'm not saying I didn't deserve it, but I've never had one. And from my experience, the people that have multiple DUIs and the people that constantly over a period of time have a pattern of getting arrested for driving they don't change unless they completely quit. I'm sober. I'm in recovery. I quit. I've stayed quit, but it's an everyday thing. You don't just say I quit and then you're not diligent anymore. I just in the last 30 days, I've had people bring chilled shots of tequila in front of me and stick them in front of me. I've had people put cocaine in my hand, in the last year. I mean, it's an everyday. I'm not gonna say it's a struggle, but it's an everyday endeavor. You're never that far away from it. So if you're not in recovery, you're not quitting, then you're always at risk for this to happen. He shouldn't have been driving. This guy should not have been driving. He should not have had a license. And I have good friends.
Did he have other offenses?
Yeah, he did. He did. He had and I'm just like I said, I'm saying this and what I've read, and I don't know for sure, all these things I'm saying. This is what I've researched. Yes, he had some drug offenses. He had some sort of, if I'm not mistaken, some sort of trespass or breaking and entering, which was another drunk escapade. It didn't. I could when I clicked on it, it wouldn't show me all the details. It just said uh, burglary. It was either burglary or breaking and entering and trespass, which sounds to me like he got evicted and he went back and tried to get his shit, because that sounds like that is. If it was burglary, it means that someone was in there. If you get breaking and entering, it means you broke into somewhere and you stole some shit or whatever. You broke in. Burglary means you went in there and there was people in there.
Burgled.
You burgled. right. But anyway, and there was another one on there. It was a weird one.
What possesses one to get drunk and burgle? I mean, I get if it was he got evicted and he wanted to go get his stuff and he got drunk because he was depressed and then he breaks in. I'm just curious as to, because some people, is it like an angry drunk thing? Is that I can't function drunk thing? Is like I don't understand that.
I'm just gonna speak from my experience, because I wasn't a drunk forever. After my second marriage ended, I ruined it. I would only binge drink with the band. I would get drunk on the weekends. If we were on the road for 3 or 4 days, I'd get drunk for 2 or 3 days. But after my second divorce, separation, excuse me, I burnt the house. I drank like hell. And I remember just making horrible decisions. Not when I was super drunk, but just on the way to getting drunk. Like I would drink usually about a fifth of tequila and 3 to 6 beers a night. That was and I would always leave about that much in the fifth of tequila so that I could say, I didn't drink the whole thing. It's the same fucking thing though.
So that's just like leaving the last cookie.
That's like doing an 8 ball of cocaine and leaving one line and going, I didn't do anything. But in any case, that's when I made my worst decisions, is when I made my worst decisions when I was kind of drunk.
No, people don't make good decisions when they're drunk, but like sometimes their decisions are based off of anger or whatever, and
you do get angry some people get angry when they're drunk.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm fairly happy drunk, unless you're around.
I have a lot of regrets in my life. A lot of people do. I wasn't a mean drunk, but I would get sad and stuff. Right before I quit drinking on December 3rd, 2011. Thank you. I always wonder why people applaud when you say that. I mean, when you started drinking, they weren't doing a good job. I don't
know about you, but they were like that in my family. Yay, you had your first glass of wine. Good for you.
I was mixing drinks for my mother and father when I was 6. That's not a joke.
Yeah, you had a different.
It was 1971. Yeah, my parents were like, we got us a little bartender. My dad was like, yeah, loser, freaking idiot. Go in there and mix me a drink. And it was just vodka and 1 ice cube. It's not even a drink. My mother drank straight. What? It's just vodka. My mother drank straight scotch. And her drink was in a rock glass. You fill it up 5/8. She'd go a little over half, a little over half of scotch, 1 ice cube, and a splash of water. Don't bruise the scotch. Even when I was a heavy drinker, I couldn't drink scotch. You don't bruise liquor. You bruise the floor.
Doesn't liquor bruise you?
See? She thinks like a comedian. She's way funnier than I am.
Anyway, get back to
Sorry,
I got distracted.
So I tried to put myself in Ragnar's position. Could that have been me? I mean, could I have gotten slammed after work and drove home? No, it could not have happened like that, especially with him being 37 years old. That's what I think he should get. Ragnar's 37, Andrew is 36. I think Ragnar should get 36 years in prison. and he have to do every day for day. And I think that it's not fair, but I think that would be just. He's probably not going to get that, depending on if they go by his old record. But anyway, back to the story. Did I drive? Could I have been Ragnar? I mean, obviously,
anyone
anybody, right? Anybody could have, but could I have been him? Would that be something that I would be capable of doing? No. And the reason I'm saying that, and I'll tell you the bad story in a second. The reason I'm not capable of doing that is when I was 37 years old. It was right before my second divorce. I wasn't really drinking a lot then. I was a heavy drug user. I would get scared to get behind the wheel. I feared it. I owned my own construction business. I had 6 families I was taking care of, plus my family. I had investments. I had real estate. I had rental units. I knew that if I lost my license, or I wasn't even worried about killing anybody. I was more worried about getting caught driving, because I didn't ever think I would do that. So could I have gotten a DWI? Absolutely. Many times. Could I have killed someone like that? I don't think so. And a bad story about this is right before I quit drinking, I would say probably 10 months before I quit drinking. I don't know if I should tell the story. I was living in New Bern, North Carolina, where I'm from. And I was single. So
you want me to leave the room?
No, it's just I'm honest with you. I've told you a lot of things I shouldn't, but I'll go ahead and finish the story, honestly. I was at my house in Bridgeton. I was broke. The company wasn't doing good. At this time, I had one employee, and I was already selling all my shit to move to Florida to do stand-up. I didn't know where I was going to move, but I knew I was moving. And I was heavy drinking, didn't have a lot of money, and my inspection sticker was out on my car. And I had a half a bottle of where is it being streamed? Question mark. The hearing is being streamed. We're going to try to get that on here now. I had drank about a half a bottle of tequila, and this Puerto Rican chick I knew, her and her friend wanted me to come pick her up and bring her to my house. And you know what a former musician and 2 girls do. So I drove all the way across town, drunk. I mean, I was half drunk, with a bad inspection sticker, and my alternator went out as I was going to pick them up. So it was dark. It just started snowing. It was like February. On the way back, my lights were dimming, because when your alternator goes, your car runs off your battery. Your battery goes, your car runs off your alternator if it's working properly. Mine wasn't. So as I'm driving home, my lights are dimming with no inspection sticker. In Florida, they don't inspect cars. In North Carolina. So as I'm getting back to Bridgeton, my lights are going like that. And once they go all the way out, your dashboard doesn't work. Your car cuts off. My car cuts off at the corner and glides into my driveway and will not start again, because it's so that's the kind of bad decisions you make as a drunk. So let me see. Look up Colorado Courts, Mesa County, Courtroom 9. All right. Let me see if we can do that. Colorado Courts, Mesa. What did she say?
County, Courtroom 9.
Courtroom 9. Colorado Courts, Mesa County, Courtroom 9. Colorado Courts, Mesa County, Courtroom 9, live stream. Here we go. All right, let me see if we can get this. If we can get this, I'll switch it. All right, hold on. Mesa.
I set it on December 1st through the 2nd. Let me see.
That's Courtroom 1 now.
Got it.
you'd have the right to remain silent too. And if you chose to remain silent, I would tell the jury that they could not use your silence against you in any way. You also have the right to testify at trial. Whether you testify or remain silent is a decision.
Fucking. Sorry.
This is some of the
All right, let me see if I can get this on here.
elements for these crimes. Where these words and phrases appear in the elements, these are the definitions that apply, and your attorney has told me she's gone over with you. Knowingly, willfully, unlawfully, voluntary act, dwelling, entering unlawfully, or
I don't think, is that him?
At the end of this document, there's what appears to be your signature from today as well.
This isn't him yet, but we're close.
Signatures on all these documents, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
And before you sign them, did you read them carefully, go over them carefully with Miss Williams?
Yes,
To the extent you had any questions about anything in any one of
When
these
I get to
documents,
where it's supposed to be,
answer
I'll
those
make sure
questions
everybody
to your
gets it.
satisfaction.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you happy with the job that she's done for you?
There's a way to stream it.
Yeah, there is.
Keeping in mind all the rights that you have,
Okay, let me go get a
the
cord.
rights that you're giving up by pleading guilty, as well as the possible
Keep an eye on this.
associated with your decision to plead guilty
Make sure
as it relates
it doesn't get to
to
Ragnar. Let me go get a cord.
Okay. What's his
amended
last name?
count
Kristl?
Ragnar Kristl. Krista.
one, first degree criminal trespass. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty of that offense? Agreed that there's a factual basis to support that plea, Miss Williams?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Crane, satisfied that there's factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Garcia, has anyone forced you or coerced you into entering into this plea agreement or this guilty plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are these your decisions? Your decisions alone?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had enough time to think about this decision and to talk to your lawyer about it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you need any more time?
No, Your Honor.
Are you thinking clearly today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you now under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication that may negatively affect your ability to understand what's going on here?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made any promises to you, any guarantees to you in order to get you to plead guilty here today that we haven't discussed or that are not contained within the paperwork we've gone over?
No, Your Honor.
I'll find the defendant is knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily entered into this plea agreement and this guilty plea. She has a full awareness of the right of giving up by doing so, as well as the possible penalties associated with the same. These are her decisions, and her decisions alone. There is a factual basis to support the guilty plea. Miss Williams, your sentencing argument, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're just asking the court to impose a brief probationary sentence with the conditions listed in the plea agreement with no additional jail time. Ms. Garcia obviously has never been in trouble before this incident. She spent tonight in jail from this. It scared her. I don't think that she'll be back in the criminal justice system after she completes her probationary sentence. The situation here, Ms.
pretty
Garcia
terrifying.
was
What?
out celebrating her graduation,
Oh my
got way too
God.
drunk, and was trying to make her way back home. She was staying in those in townhouses that all look identical, like a community of identical townhouses. And this was one of the townhouses in her neighborhood. So she thought that she was entering her own home. And it ended up being this lady, Nancy.
So she said it's not
who was
started
there
yet,
alone.
which that's good.
Nancy seems to
Okay.
give a lot of grace to Ms. Garcia, and that's much appreciated. I think it's a wake-up call for her that she just can't get that drunk, can't be out and about in that state.
I'm gonna look it up, how to do it.
She's a mother. She knows how important it is to follow all of the court's orders and to not end up back here again so that she can be there for her child. So we're just asking for a brief probationary sentence. I don't think we'll ever see her in
Okay.
the court.
Thank you. Ms. Crane.
Just asking the court to accept, Your Honor. I think the evaluations and treatment will be productive for Ms. Garcia, and I'm not requesting or
We're working on
recommending a
it.
sentence, but we'll defer to the court.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Garcia, you have the right to address me before I impose any sentence upon you. You don't have to address me. But if you want to, this is your chance to tell me as much or as little about you, this case, or anything else you think I need to know. If you do wish to address me, all I ask is that you stand.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. I'll accept the plea agreement that's been reached between the parties. I'll enter judgment of conviction is to count one, trespass in the first degree as a class 1 misdemeanor. I'm not going to impose any fine. Doing so would serve no purpose. The fees and costs will be calculated by my clerk and attached to the sentence order that will issue in the normal course. No restitution has been sought or requested, so I'll find that no victim has suffered a pecuniary loss. You've given up your right to ask me to reduce or modify the sentence I'm imposing under Rule 35B, but you do retain the right to appeal. If you want to do that, you need to do it within 49 days of today's date. I've considered the arguments of counsel, your statements. Well, you didn't give me any statements, but the affidavit in support of your arrest. I've considered the purposes of sentencing as well, all of them. Ms. Garcia, you're very young. You've never been in trouble before this. They said Miss Williams said you were celebrating graduation, but kind of an odd time of year to be celebrating graduation.
Yeah.
That is weird.
What were you graduating from?
I was graduating from high school, but I finished my courses already.
Okay.
I did in person, but I was ready to continue in person.
We're trying to figure this out, even though no one's here.
I mean, Miss Garcia, you're lucky that you banged on the door of Miss Uhl and not someone else. I'm sure, I would hope Miss Williams or someone else has told you that things could have gone much differently for you. And given that you have never been in trouble before, clearly weren't able to manage the amount of alcohol that you consumed both as an underage person, but which is illegal in and of itself, but just under the circumstances that this is a huge wake-up call to you. I don't believe really much else in terms of consequences beyond what's been contemplated here makes a lot of sense, other than perhaps a small amount of public service, which is what I'll impose in addition to a short period of probation and the programming. But this is a lot for someone who went out, got too drunk,